This channel does not promote or encourage any illegal activities. All content provided by this channel is meant for educational purpose only. The Chicago gang war around 2011 was a peak moment in the city's ongoing struggles with gun violence, primarily driven by conflicts between splintered street gangs, most notably factions of the Gangster Disciples, GDs, and the Black Disciples, BDs. This period marked a new phase in gang violence, influenced by social media, drill music, and decentralized gang structures. Traditionally, Chicago gangs like the GDs, BDs, and vice lords operated under hierarchical structures. By 2012, many gangs fragmented into smaller cliques or sets, often neighborhood-based and without centralized leadership. These factions had their own identities, alliances, and rivalries, which made conflicts more unpredictable. The killings of Tuka and O.D. Perry were major sparks in the modern GDBD war on Chicago's South Side. These deaths and the taunting of the dead that followed reshaped gang culture, made their way into rap music, and influenced how violence is perceived, mourned, and provoked online. I'll list all of the rappers whose lives have been lost to Chicago's streets in this video. Joseph J. Coleman, who also performed as a rapper under the name Lil JoJo, was from Chicago, Illinois, whose murder at age 18 received wide coverage as a symptom of gang violence in Chicago. JoJo gained notice in Chicago's early drill music scene and was affiliated with a faction of the Gangster Disciples. He created diss tracks targeted at rival factions that exacerbated already hostile inter-gang disputes. During a period of escalating feuding and heightened tensions among rival gangs, JoJo was killed in a drive-by shooting. JoJo's death was highly publicized, and the circumstances surrounding his murder are remembered by Chicago residents as a landmark instance of the city's intensifying gang violence problem. To date, law enforcement has not made any arrests in connection to Coleman's murder, and the case remains open. During his teens, Coleman began rapping under the name Lil JoJo. His material was primarily of the drill music variety that at the time was gaining popularity in Chicago. JoJo gained notice in Chicago after self-releasing the song 300K in August 2012, which reacted to the song 300 by Chief Keef. JoJo's song included the repeated acronym BDK, which stood for Black Disciple Killer, and directly taunted his rival gangs. This trading of diss tracks was noticed by the Chicago police for heightening inter-gang tensions. During the feud, JoJo became the leader of a new sector of the Gangster Disciples known as Brick Squad. In September 2012, extensive vitriol was exchanged via social media, particularly Twitter, between JoJo's camp and rival members of other sets. Among this exchange were insults from Coleman directed towards Chief Keef's camp. JoJo was killed in a drive-by shooting in the Englewood neighborhood of Chicago on September 4, 2012, after a rival gang member was stalking him. JoJo revealed his location on Twitter, not long after posting the music video for his song 300K to YouTube. At 6:13 p.m., JoJo shared on his Twitter account that he was on the 6900 block of South Princeton Avenue on the Chicago South Side. Police reports state that at approximately 7:30 p.m., shots were fired at JoJo out of the driver's seat of a sedan at 70th and Princeton Avenue. Johnny Boy Prince, born Johnny Taylor, was a promising rapper from Chicago's West Side who was tragically shot and killed on January 9, 2013, at the age of 23. He was found in an alley in the Garfield Park neighborhood, having suffered multiple gunshot wounds. Despite undergoing surgery at Mount Sinai Hospital, he succumbed to his injuries. His manager suggested that the shooting might have been a case of mistaken identity. At the time of his death, Johnny Boy was gaining attention in the music industry and was reportedly in talks with Atlantic Records, with interest also from Epic and Universal. He had recently completed a song titled Just Like You, which addressed the issue of senseless violence in Chicago, a poignant reflection of the circumstances surrounding his own death. Johnny Boy Prince left behind a 4-year-old son and a growing fan base. His music can still be found on his SoundCloud page. Additionally, his YouTube channel features several of his music videos, such as Magic and Bossed Up Barbie. YPN Boomtown, born Ulysses Chris Gissendener III, was an emerging rapper from Chicago associated with the YPN, Young Paid Boys Collective. He was also known as the stepson of Chief Keef's biological father, Alfonso Cozart, making him Chief Keef's stepbrother. Boomtown gained attention in the early 2010s with tracks like Hit a Lick, a collaboration with Prince Henry and T.Y., which showcased his potential in the drill music scene. The official video for Hit a Lick was released on YouTube in 2012. Tragically, on January 2, 2013, at the age of 19, Gissendener was fatally shot in the back of the head while visiting his uncle on Chicago's far south side. He was taken to Roseland Hospital, where he later died from his injuries. His stepfather, Alfonso Cozart, emphasized that Gissendener was a positive individual who had recently graduated high school, was attending college, and held a job. YPN Boomtown's untimely death underscored the challenges faced by young artists in environments plagued by violence. On the 12th of May, 2013, an aspiring rapper from Southside Chicago was gunned down early Sunday morning on Mother's Day. Jeffrey Morgan, who often went under the rap moniker Lil Jeff, was killed in cold blood during a house party. The 21-year-old member of the Fly boy gang rap group died at the scene. Friends and family took to social media to mourn the young rapper, including the slain MC's FBG camp. A distraught billionaire Black wrote, "R.I.P. my Rostat Lil Jeff Soinsane, I love you shorty, we took a loss. I still can't believe this." Fellow FBG rapper Lil J also took to Twitter to mourn his fallen brother. "Rest in peace to my blood twin bro, at Lil Jeff Soinsane, I am tinning up, for bro you know what it is ball in paradise. See you when I get their twin number 99. L.A. Capone was a rapper from Southside, Chicago. He was an up-and-coming rapper closely associated with Lil Durk, whom has appeared in some of his videos. Just like Chief Keef and Lil Durk, he was a member of the Black Disciples gang and was often seen in videos with fellow rapper Rondo Number 9 shouting out GDK, which is slang for Gangster Disciples Killer. On September 26, 2013, while leaving the recording studio around 6 p.m., L.A. Capone went to look for his ride down the street. As he was walking down an alley near 70th Street and Stony Island Avenue, he was approached by an assailant on foot, and 4 back shots were soon fired, hitting him in his thigh. Upon hearing of the shooting, Lil Durk, who has been friends with him for more than 5 years, tweeted his wishes for him to get better, but he would later tweet, "R.I.P. Lil Bro." There were many speculations on who killed L.A. Capone before his killers were charged. L.A. Capone's gang, 600, was at war with numerous rival gangs such as the GDs, Tukaville, STL, EBT. L.A. even dissed one of their dead members in his song, Play, for keeps. But the gang whom most people believed was behind the murder was 05 One Young Money, a Mickey Cobra set. In August 2014, the news came out that 3 individuals were charged with L.A. Capone's murder. Hardy Johnson and Michael Mays, both members of 05 One Young Money, were charged with first-degree murder. A third individual, Miko Buchanan, whom authorities claim was the driver of a tail car, was also charged in connection with Capone's murder. Authorities claim that all 3 confessed to the crime after being booked. Tavash Kaiser, known professionally as Trife, was a Chicago-based rapper and community advocate whose life and career were tragically cut short by gun violence. His work and activism left a lasting impact on his community. His music was characterized by a raw, hard-hitting style that reflected the realities of his environment. Beyond his music, Trife was actively involved in community initiatives. He served as the vice president of NDOB, No Dudes on Bull, and was a spokesperson and board member of the 2 Royalty nonprofit organization. Through these roles, he aimed to uplift and empower the youth in his community. One of Trife's most notable works was the song Respect the Youth, which addressed the challenges faced by young people in Chicago. The track was part of his efforts to shed light on the issues of gang violence and to promote positive change. On October 7, 2013, Trife was fatally shot in the head while stopping in the 7300 block of South Dorchester Avenue. He was 38 years old at the time of his death. Reports suggest that he was not the intended target of the shooting. At the time, he was working on editing the video for Respect the Youth, making his death all the more poignant. Trife's untimely passing underscored the very issues he sought to combat through his music and activism. His family and community members have since called for justice and continue to honor his memory by advocating for peace and supporting initiatives aimed at reducing violence in Chicago. At 17 years old, Don Darius is also a part of the street life, and his music also takes aim at the ops. Before his demise, Don Darius taunted his rivals, the Black Disciples, and they apparently retaliated. December of 2013, Don Darius was shot in the head during a confrontation. The next morning, it was reported that Don Darius died from the injuries surrounding the shot to the head. Friends and fans flocked to Don Darius, real name Ladarius Briscoes, Twitter to pay their respects. They were all shocked and heartbroken by the loss of the rising rapper, who has plenty of videos on YouTube. Don Darius is one of the youngest drill rappers to lose his life to the street. Lil Mark was a drill rapper from Chicago, Illinois, and also a member of the Mickey Cobra's gang faction 05 One Young Money. Mark would attend Revis Elementary School and Hyde Park Academy High School, with his high school also being attended by many other drill artists such as King Von, FBG Duck, and G Herbo. Both of these schools were attended by many 05 One Young Money members, which caused Lil Mark to become affiliated with the gang at a young age. On October 7, 2011, Lil Mark released his first music video titled Zico World, filmed on Young Money 05 One's main block on 51st and Cottage Grove Avenue. The song title was made in tribute to Isaiah Zico Walker, an 18-year-old member of Young Money 05 One who was shot and killed back in September 2008. Zico World was Young Money 05 One's first music video and one of the first songs in the Chicago drill scene. From late 2011 to early 2013, Lil Mark would spend time behind bars for legal issues after getting caught with a handgun at the age of 17. From late 2013 to early 2014, Young Money 05 One were huge targets after the September 2013 murder of rival rapper L.A. Capone, who was shot and killed outside a recording studio by Lil Mick from Young Money 05 One. However, Lil Mark would add more fuel to the fire in March 2014 after releasing No Competition, where he disrespected 11 dead people and also dissed Rondo No. 9 for getting shot the day after L.A. Capone's death at the Candlelight. On March 26, 2014, just a day after dropping No Competition, Lil Mark was caught by rival gang members and was allegedly shot at but managed to escape. After the incident, rival gang members would mock Lil Mark on Twitter, claiming he ran off once they saw him. On March 28, 2014, at 1:27 p.m., Lil Mark stood near a bus stop on 415 East 51st Street, east of King Drive, when a silver minivan pulled up. The shooter, armed with a handgun with an extended clip, would fire at least 12 shots at Lil Mark, where he was hit 1 to 2 times in the head, where after a pause, the shooter fired 2 more shots, then escaped in the minivan. Lil Mark was pronounced dead at the scene. The minivan used in the murder was found in flames on 3700 South Ellis Avenue just 5 hours after the shooting occurred. Lil Mark's killer was never caught. Big Glow, or otherwise known as Blood Money, was a rapper popular for releasing his original music through YouTube. The Illinois native is also recognized as the cousin of rap superstar Chief Keef. In 2013, he released the mixtape Drug Wars for Glory Boys Long before he was signed to a record label. He had been signed to Interscope Records shortly before his death in 2014. Big Glow at the time of his death and Blood Money before being signed was the oldest member of the Glory Boys entertainment crew and was Chief Keef's second cousin. On the 9th of April 2014, 2 shooters opened fire just south of 56th Street on Elizabeth Avenue around 9:45 p.m., leaving more than 24 shell casings in the street. Big Glow was shot as many as 10 times and pronounced dead at John H. Stroger Jr. Hospital of Cook County. A 28-year-old man was wounded and taken to Stroger by a family member. Big Glow said he didn't know the second person who was shot or his relationship with the rapper. Police had a hard time keeping track of the shell casings at the scene. Ripped-up index cards served as evidence markers until police were able to get plastic ones to the scene. But when the plastic markers were set next to the casings, they scraped across the pavement in the wind. Big Glow was a relatively minor but long-standing figure on a scene with its share of artists who have signed record label deals in recent years, including Chief Keef, Lil Reese, Young Chop, and King Louie. OTF Nunu, or Nusky, was a drill rapper from Chicago, Illinois, and was the cousin of rapper Lil Durk. OTF Nunu was also signed into Lil Durk's ODF, Only the Family, label just 3 days before his death. On the 31st of May, 2014, ODF Nunu was sitting in a sport utility vehicle in the 700 block of East 87th Street in the South Side neighborhood around 3:20 p.m. when someone walked up and started shooting, killing ODF Nunu, according to the police and the Cook County Medical Examiner's office. The vehicle hit the front of a store in a strip mall at 87th and Cottage Grove. 051 Melly was said to be behind the hit as he continued to diss Nusky after his death during a live stream. The police said the shooting might have been gang-related, and it said OTF Nusky wasn't involved in gangs. Nusky's death came as he was working on new music. Like many of his contemporaries, Nusky's drill rap focused on his life. His songs were energetic, focused on having a good time, and his relationship to the people close to him. Young Pappy was born in Chicago, Illinois. Young Pappy started rapping when he was 4 years old after being taught by his older brother Ryan, who also raps under the moniker Boo Double. Most of Young Pappy's music can be found on YouTube, Spinrilla, and SoundCloud, including a video uploaded to YouTube in 2007 of him freestyling when he was only 12 years old. His most popular song, Killa, has over 50 million views on YouTube. Young Pappy's first official mixtape, 2 Cups Part 1, was released on August 21st, 2011 to Spinrilla. On May 29, 2015, Young Pappy was walking in the 4800 block of North Kenmore Avenue when 1 or 2 gunmen walked up from behind and started shooting, and he was struck twice in the back at around 1:35 a.m. and was taken to Advocate, Illinois, Masonic Medical Center, where he was pronounced dead at 3:01 a.m. He was 20 years old. The person who killed him was never found. It is believed that the shooting was gang-related and that it was a member of a rival gang that killed him. Pappy was part of a gangster disciples set named FBG, a Chicago gang. Before Pappy had tragically passed away, he had been the target in 2 different shootings where one of them ended with him being shot in February 2014 outside of a McDonald's, with one of the bullets hitting his arm, with another one killing his friend Markeo Carr, and where multiple people was also shot on the same occasion. In July 2014, he was again subjected to another assassination attempt when he was shot at by rival gang members. But Pappy himself was not shot, but instead another innocent bystander was killed in the situation. Conspiracy surrounding Pappy's death is likely caused by being backdoored by a close friend who killed Pappy, or was a rival gang member who murdered Pappy. The killer was never found. KTS Vaughn was from Chicago, Illinois. He grew up in the city's South Side, Lakeside neighborhood. He was affiliated with the KTS, which stands for Kill to Survive, Alliance, which consisted of members from Lakeside, Pockettown, and 075 Vice Lords. He was also a member of the insane, cutthroat gangsters faction of the Vice Lords. KTS Vaughn started rapping at a young age, influenced by his older brother KTS Dre. He released several songs on YouTube, such as Kill to Survive, Street Life, No Love, and Kill Award. His music reflected the harsh reality of living in a violent and impoverished environment, where he had to deal with rival gangs, police harassment, and drug addiction. He often rapped about his enemies, such as the Black Disciples. Vaughn was known for his aggressive, fearless personality and loyalty to his friends and family. He was close to his brother, KTS Dre. However, his life was also filled with tragedy and violence. He lost many friends and relatives to gun violence. Unfortunately, KTS Vaughn's luck ran out on June 23, 2015, when unknown assailants fatally shot him near East 75th Street and South Phillips Avenue. He was 21 years old. According to witnesses, he was walking with two friends when a car pulled up and opened fire at them. KTS Vaughn was hit multiple times in the chest and head, while his friends were wounded but survived. He was dead at the location. The motive for KTS Vaughn's murder remains unclear, but it is widely believed that it was related to his gang affiliation and rap music. GB Capone was a Chicago-based rapper affiliated with Chief Keef's Glory Boys Entertainment, GD, later known as Glow Gang. He emerged from the city's drill music scene, aligning with groups like Front Street, O Block, and No Limit. Capone gained recognition for tracks such as Swag School and Family Business, and was featured in Lil Bibby's song Fake Ninjas alongside Lil Herb. Tragically, Capone's life was cut short on July 11, 2015, when he was fatally shot in Chicago's South Shore neighborhood. During the suspects' attempted escape, their vehicle struck and killed a 13-month-old boy named Dylan Harris. This incident underscored the devastating impact of gun violence in the community. Capone's discography includes mixtapes like GLONL released in 2013, Welcome to Chirac released in 2015, and GLONL 2 released in 2015. His contributions to the drill genre and his collaborations with artists like Chief Keef and Lil Bibby have left a lasting impression on fans and the Chicago rap community. Jermaine Robinson, known on the Chicago rap scene as FBG Brick, was gunned down along with his friend Stanley Jacoby Mack, known as Kobe Mack, on a Monday afternoon in the Southside Woodlawn neighborhood. Police were called to a shooting about 2:50 p.m. in the 6300 block of South St. Lawrence. They found one of the victims in front of a home with a gunshot wound to the head, and the other man in the back gangway with gunshot wounds to the back and arm. Mack, aged 31, and Brick, aged 26, were pronounced dead at the scene. Mack lived in the West Side Austin neighborhood, while Brick lived in South Shore. Autopsies found both men died of multiple gunshot wounds, and their deaths were ruled homicides.
Oh, he is in the alley. When we came up that
Yeah, he's like in the gangway. He in the gangway right there.
As FBG Brick performed under the tutelage of his younger brother, FBG Duck, a member of the controversial Fly Boy Gang, or FBG. That group, known for its high-profile feuds with Chief Keef and E-Dye, released a number of songs dissing the rival rappers. FBG Brick's most popular video was Another One. Mack, known to friends as Kobe Mack, was a member of the FBG circle, though was not as a performer. Unconfirmed reports said he was related to Brick and Duck. Shoulda Shells was a controversial South Side rapper with reputed ties to a Black Peace Stone gang faction called Black Mob, who earned a following in Chicago's drill music scene by taunting gang rivals, some of them slang, with his lyrics. Shoulda Shells rapped in a music video posted to YouTube in April 2017. Entitled Death of 150, the video talked to the Black Mob's long-standing feud with the rival Stone faction No Limit, also known as No Limit 150. About 3 months later, Shoulda Shells was about to get into his car in the Auburn Gresham community when 3 men exited a white Nissan Altima and opened fire. Shoulda Shells was shot multiple times about the head and body. He collapsed mortally wounded in the street. Shoulda Shells' violent death drew little attention except from a few rap music websites. Just one of 13 people shot in Chicago on that day. In July 2017, one other fatally. Records unsealed in federal court show that 2 months before Shoulda Shells' slaying, the FBI had joined forces with Chicago police to investigate the years-long back-and-forth violence between Black Mob and No Limit. Witnesses reported seeing Shoulda Shells leave a residence in the 8100 block of South Paulina Street with another individual about 9:30 a.m. on July 10th, 2017, as Shoulda Shells was about to enter his car down the block toward 82nd Street. The three assailants approached. It was unclear from the filing if they happened by in the Altima or were lying in wait, and fired off 43 shots. The three sped off at a high rate of speed southbound on Paulina. An autopsy report laid out the grim details. Shoulda Shells was shot in the head, chest, right arm, right thigh, right foot, right calf, and buttocks. He also suffered graze wounds to his left forearm and right wrist. For several months leading up to his death, Shoulda Shells could be heard online in the Death of 150 music video holding what the FBI said appeared to be a handgun. In the court filing, the FBI said Shoulda Shells and others directed numerous menacing threats in the song toward No Limit. Dusky the Man was a well-known and beloved member of MOB's Scrap Gang and artist. He has a song with Wooski called Shooters and also made music with the legendary Scrap. Sadly, Dusky the Man was killed October 9th, 2018 on his block with a shot to the head. He was only 25 years old. The shooting happened just before 4 p.m. in the 5600 block of South Michigan Avenue. 25-year-old Dusky was shot in the head and the woman he was with was struck in her left foot. Both were taken to University of Chicago Medical Center, where Dusky was pronounced dead at 4:33 p.m. and the woman was stabilized and survived the gunshot wound. Two members of 600 and a Front Street member were seen driving around with guns just a few moments before Dusky was killed. Front Street is a primarily black disciple set located around the area of 61st and Indiana, with their turf extending from 61st to 63rd, Michigan to Prairie. Established in the early 2000s, Front Street is recognized as one of the more prominent BD sets. They've been frequently linked to various murders, robberies, and other illicit activities throughout Chicago, and 600 is also a mainly black disciple set located on the south side of Chicago. Their territory stretches from 59th and Calumet to 60th and King Drive. It is not well known who supposedly killed Dusky. There have been rumors going around that O Block might be the ones responsible for the death of Dusky. On Dusky's funeral a week after his death, there was a mass shooting. The mass shooting happened about 12:30 p.m. outside Bethlehem Star Missionary Baptist Church, 9231 South Cottage Grove. The most seriously wounded was Wooski, who was a close friend of Dusky, who was shot in the head and in critical condition at University of Chicago Medical Center. The conditions of the remaining victims had all stabilized. 6 people were shot at the funeral. Luckily, no one died. After the funeral, O Block members took credit for the mass shooting. June 13, 2012, Chicago native Antoine Fields, also known as Lil Wappa, but more famously Lil Mister, released the music video for his hit song No Latkin. The song would be the starting point of a new era in his life. It went into viral status as one of the most rooted hip-hop tracks in Chicago that influenced the drill genre. Accumulating millions of views, Lil Mister was catapulted into the music industry's spotlight. It was his chance to get out of the violent and gang-fueled environment he lived in. But before he could ever make the change to a new lifestyle, his life was sadly lost. Instead of using the momentum of the song to build a career away from a life in the streets, Lil Mister instead continued along that path. He was affiliated with the Wooga World and JoJo World, named after fallen affiliates Wooga. On the 5th of March, 2019, Lil Mister sustained a bullet wound to the head at around 7:15 p.m. local time in the Englewood neighborhood. The rapper was taken to the University of Chicago Medical Center, where he was later pronounced dead. Mister was also the cousin of Lil Durk, who is currently on trial for hire for murder. In a 2017 interview with Zach TV, Mister spoke about the death of his good friend Lil JoJo, as well as the advice Durk gave him about dealing with beef. The young artist was reportedly incarcerated on drug and weapons-related charges several years ago before getting released in 2016. A.B. Hellabans was a well-known Chicago figure, a close friend of Lil Durk. His biggest songs are Mad, released in 2016, and Got to Strap, released in 2019. He died on May 11, 2019 in Miami Beach, Florida. A.B. Hellebans was gunned down in the middle of the street in May of 2019. Austin Hall was the shooter, and that he had come to Miami Beach to settle a score with Hellebans. Both of the men were not strangers to law enforcement. Hellebans was named as the alleged shooter in a March 2015 murder at a nightclub called Adriana's in a south suburb of Chicago. Hall had just been convicted on an armed robbery charge, but came to Miami Beach before he was to have turned himself into prison. It was Saturday, May 11, 2019, at 2:37 a.m., when 8 to 9 gunshots were heard in the area of Washington Avenue and Espanola Way. A Miami Beach police officer who was in the area heard the gunshots and witnessed a large crowd fleeing. It was then that the victim, later identified as Hellebans, was found unresponsive and motionless, lying on his left side in the 200 block of Espanola Way. Kintry Young, widely known as Trey Savage, was signed to the label Glow Gang and was a member of the Black Disciples Gang. He was known for his songs Know Who I Am and Faces. On June 19, 2020, Trey was shot and killed while driving in the south side of Chicago. Trey Savage was shot and killed while driving around on the south side of Chicago. He was rushed to the University of Chicago Medical Center, where he was later pronounced dead. The entire Chief Keef Glow Gang family were extremely saddened about the loss of Trey Savage. Investigators identified Dimitri Jackson as the gunman from surveillance video that shows him walking with a distinctive limp before and after killing Savage. The two were affiliated with the same gang faction and spoke briefly 15 minutes before the shooting in the 8100 block of South Evans Avenue. Jackson returned in a car, got out, and interacted again with Trey as he sat in another car with his girlfriend. Jackson went back to his car and moved it into the middle of the street, blocking Trey's car. He then stepped out and started shooting. Trey, struck in the neck and shoulder, crashed into a parked car. Jackson sped off down an alley in a white Mazda, which police found the next day burning in an alley near 84th Place in Ellis. Police had several previous run-ins with Jackson, including a shooting in 2018 that wounded Jackson in the ankle, leaving him with a distinctive limp. Video from a convenience store before the shooting shows Jackson's face uncovered while he enters the white Mazda. Other surveillance video shows the killing, as well as Jackson driving to 84th and Ellis and walking with a limp in distinctive clothing. Members of the Chicago Police Department who knew Jackson identified him from the surveillance photos, which also showed a unique skin imperfection on Jackson's shoulder. Carlton DeQuan, weakly known professionally as FBG Duck, was regarded as one of the most influential figures in the development of Chicago drill music during the 2010s. FBG Duck rose to prominence with his gritty lyrics and aggressive style, often reflecting his experiences with street life and gang rivalries. He gained a dedicated following for his storytelling and his controversial diss tracks, which earned him the nickname Bully of Chicago, with his music primarily spanning drill, trap, and hip-hop. Critics and fans recognize him as a pivotal artist in the evolution of drill, a genre that gained mainstream traction in the late 2010s. FBG Duck's public image was defined by his unapologetic persona and association with the Fly Boy Gang, which gave rise to intense rivalries within Chicago's drill scene. Among his most prominent feuds were conflicts with members of the Black Disciples, particularly after the release of Deadbeat, a single that taunted deceased rivals. Federal investigators noted that diss tracks between Duck and O-Block artists fueled violence on the streets, with a reported $100,000 bounty placed on his life. On August 4, 2020, rapper FBG Duck was fatally shot alongside 2 victims and killed in Chicago's Gold Coast neighborhood at 4:26 p.m. The shooting occurred outside a Dolce & Gabbana store while he was shopping for a gift for his son. Duck was targeted in what appeared to be a gang-related attack, with 4 masked gunmen opening fire from 2 vehicles. He was struck 16 times and later died from his injuries at the hospital. In October 2021, 6 suspects were arrested and tried in the United States. Charles Liggins, also known as C. Murda, Kenneth Roberson, also known as Kenny Mac, Carlos offered, also known as Los. Christopher Thomas, also known as C-Tang. Marcus Smart, also known as Muwop. Ralph Turpin, also known as Teasy. On January 17, 2024, all 6 were convicted of murder in aid of racketeering and conspiracy to commit murder, receiving life sentences without parole. King Von was born on the south side of Chicago and was raised in the Parkway Gardens projects, more commonly known as O Block. It's located at the corner of 64th and Martin Luther King Drive, and is also sometimes referred to as 300. Vaughn grew up around other famous artists from O Block, such as Chief Keef, and was childhood friends with rapper Lil Durk, who wasn't from O Block, but was always closely affiliated with its members. Growing up, Vaughn was allegedly a member of the Black Disciples, or BD's, street gang, and was given the nickname Grandson. Vaughn had a lengthy criminal history and had many run-ins with the law starting at an early age. He went to jail for the first time at only 16 and was arrested for unlawful possession of a firearm 2 years later. He also is alleged to have put in a lot of work for the gang and is rumored to have killed 4 to 5 people. In 2018, after seeing the success of his friends like Lil Durk in the music industry, Vaughn decided to give it a shot himself. He was trying to turn his life around for the better and was encouraged to do so by his friends. Lil Durk signed him to his label, OTF, and he released his breakout single Crazy Story on December 6, 2018. With the backing from his friend Lil Durk, the track almost immediately blew up and put Vaughn on the map. Having all the cameras on him was a hard adjustment for him to have to make it first, but he quickly got the hang of it with guidance from Durk. Vaughn continued to drop music throughout the next few years and continued to collaborate with his friend Lil Durk and quickly continued to grow his fan base. On November 6, 2020, when Vaughn and his crew left the Opium nightclub, headed to the Monaco Hookah Lounge in Atlanta. Since Vaughn was a felon and he had the pending case with Lil Durk, he was not able to carry a firearm. At around 2:15 a.m., Vaughn was tragically involved in an altercation with rapper Quando Rondo and his crew outside of the hookah lounge. The two groups began to argue and eventually shots were fired. Quando Rondo and Vaughn got into a first fight, and Quando Rondo's friend, Lil Tim, allegedly opened fire on Vaughn, striking him multiple times. Chaos immediately ensued. Lil Tim was shot at by one of Vaughn's friends, and 2 officers opened fire from 2 different locations. 6 men were shot during the entire altercation, and Vaughn, along with 2 other men, tragically passed away as a result of their injuries. Thankfully, the entire ordeal was caught on surveillance camera, and Vaughn's alleged killer, Lil Tim, was arrested for his murder by authorities. As quick as his career started, it was ended, and fans were left behind with only his music and recordings. Despite his past, he was a very talented artist and deserved a second chance to turn his life around, as most people should. His legacy lives on through his music. BCR Measle was a Chicago-based rapper affiliated with the BCR, Big Clout Records, movement and closely associated with the late FBG Duck. He was tragically shot and killed on February 6, 2021 at the Indian Lakes Hotel in Bloomingdale, Illinois, during a party that turned violent. The incident left 6 people injured, and Measle was pronounced dead shortly after being transported to the hospital. Reports suggest that the shooting occurred in the hotel hallways during an altercation between different groups attending separate events at the venue. The hotel had a history of security concerns, and local officials criticized the lack of consistent security presence, which they believed could have prevented the tragedy. Measle's death came just months after the fatal shooting of his friend and alleged cousin, FBG Duck. Following Duck's death, Measle continued to promote their shared musical legacy. However, his involvement in ongoing feuds within the Chicago rap scene, including the release of a diss track titled Die, Why aimed at rivals, may have escalated tensions leading up to his own death. The loss of BCR Measle added to a series of tragic events impacting the Chicago rap community, highlighting the broader issues of violence affecting artists in the scene. Gunsmoke Gutta, also known as 757 Gunsmoke, was a rapper from Chicago affiliated with the 757 gang, part of the city's drill music scene. He was known for collaborations with artists like 757 Wooski and 757BA, contributing to tracks such as Do It Gang and All Cap Rappers. Tragically, Gunsmoke Gutta, whose real name was Keontae Gregory Mollett, was fatally shot on February 8, 2021, in the Greater Grand Crossing neighborhood of Chicago. His death was mourned by many in the community, with tributes highlighting his impact on the local music scene. Despite his untimely passing, Gunsmoke Gutta's music continues to resonate with fans, reflecting the raw energy and authenticity characteristic of Chicago's drill movement. The Chicago rapper Trello, also known as Young Trell, was shot and killed on February 10, 2021, in the Bronzeville neighborhood. He was 22 years old. The incident occurred in the 300 block of East Pershing. At age 14, Trell made an appearance in Noisy Vice's documentary, in episode 2 Keef in NYC, Chirac's New Kids. Trell revealed he first began recording his music at studio just 3 months prior to the Noisy documentary. Young Trell, who later changed his name to Trello, recorded many songs prior to his demise, including Dead Rappers, in which he dissed all his deceased ops. G-Ski was an emerging rapper from Chicago, affiliated with the Lick Gang Collective. He gained attention in the local drill and underground hip-hop scenes with tracks like 100K Freestyle and Hood Baby, showcasing his raw lyricism and street-centric narratives. Tragically, G-Ski was shot and killed on 1st of May in 2021, a loss that resonated deeply within the Chicago rap community. Tributes to him continue to appear on social media, with fans commemorating his impact and legacy. For those interested in exploring his work, G-Ski's music remains accessible online, reflecting the gritty realism and authenticity characteristic of Chicago's drill movement. KTS Dre died after he was shot multiple times in a brazen attack upon being released from prison. The incident, which occurred on July 10, 2021, outside of the Cook County Jail, happened across the street shortly after the rapper had been released from custody. 31-year-old KTS Dre was shot upwards of 64 times in the head and body by several suspects, who opened fire on the rapper before hopping in vehicles and fleeing the scene, injuring 2 others in the process. The 2 women who were injured are believed to be innocent bystanders. It appears KTS Dre was the intended target while the women were inadvertently struck. One of the victims, a 60-year-old woman who was reportedly with Dre at the time of the shooting, sustained a gunshot wound to the knee, while a 30-year-old woman was reportedly grazed by a bullet to her mouth. Both survived from their gunshot wounds. The month before, KTS Dre was arrested after being accused of violating the terms of his bail agreement in relation to a previous gun charge in 2020 and was ordered to wear electronic monitoring before being released on bail. KTS Dre, who also performed under the name Cutthroat Dreco, was known for the songs Kill to Survive with his brother, late Chicago rapper KTS Vaughn, a track dissing the Chicago Street Gang in LMB, which rappers G Herbo and Lil Bibby are closely associated with. Edie, rapper from Chicago, Illinois. His songs are considered drill music. Edie was a Black Disciples gang member from the set known as 600, which also goes by the name Brick City and Block. He often praised his gang and fellow gang members in his songs, as well as attacked gang members from rival gangs in his songs. Edie was reportedly shot and killed either late Saturday night, July 31st, or in the wee hours of Sunday morning, August 1st. 2021, he was shot multiple times in the back and rushed to the University of Chicago Hospital, where he died. Lil Reese, one of the city's most well-respected rappers, came forward to speak on Edie's passing. R.I.P. Edie, Lil Reese said in a tweet. "You grew up with me, all that. You thought I had against you, I didn't ion want to see none of my. Like that cause when I just got grazed, you was checking up on me low-key, worried free Edie, man." Edie is often credited for helping pioneer the Chicago drill scene alongside fellow Chi-Town rapper Chief Keef. He first emerged in 2012 thanks to the success of his song Gucci. Edai then established his own label team, 600 Yinti, and released his solo album, Came From Nothing, in February 2014. Edai has released numerous mixtapes, which includes So Serious, They Ain't Drillin', How I'm Drillin', and I'm Self-Made. Dewey 4, also known as Nuskagang Dewey 4, was a Chicago-based rapper affiliated with the Face World Zero, 79, and Nuskagang collectives. He gained recognition in the local drill music scene through tracks like Murder Talk, We On It, and Alley Oop, which are available on platforms such as YouTube, Spotify, and SoundCloud. Tragically, Dewey 4 was fatally shot in Chicago in November 2021. Knowledge of his death was spread by fellow artists and fans, including tributes from rapper DQ from O-Block. Dewey 4's death occurred during a period of heightened gun violence in Chicago. According to reports, more than 20 people were shot, including 4 fatalities, over the weekend of November 12th to 14th, 2021. Beyond music, Dewey 4 appeared in short films, highlighting his involvement in Chicago's drill culture. FYB Trigga was a Chicago-based drill rapper affiliated with the FYB, Fly Young Brothers Collective. Known for his gritty lyrical style, he was part of Chicago's vibrant drill scene. Trigga collaborated with fellow FYB member FYBJ Main on tracks like Respect, which showcased their dynamic synergy. His music often reflected the harsh realities of street life, resonating with many in his community. Tragically, FYB Trigga was shot and killed in Chicago in 2022. Reports indicate that he was found at 1306 East 93rd Street, the same location he had posted on his final Instagram story. The circumstances surrounding his death remain unclear, with some speculating internal conflicts within his circle. Despite his untimely passing, FYB Trigga's music continues to be celebrated by fans. His tracks, including Statement, remain available on platforms like YouTube, serving as a testament to his talent and the impact he had on the Chicago drill scene. FBG Cash was tragically gunned down early Friday morning, June 10th. The rapper suffered multiple gunshot wounds while sitting in his vehicle with a female companion around 5:30 a.m. The shooters drove by in a 4-door black Cadillac sedan. When they stopped, got out, and opened fire. The suspects quickly fled the scene shortly thereafter. FBG Cash had been driving with the woman asleep in his car. He was on the 1600 block of West 81st Street when someone with a rifle opened fire. Cash then grabbed his handgun and started to return fire, but unfortunately, he lost the battle. The rapper suffered numerous gunshot wounds in several parts of his body and was pronounced dead at the hospital. The unidentified female victim also suffered gunshot rounds to the left arm and upper back. She was listed in critical condition at Advocate Christ Medical Center in Chicago's Oak Lawn neighborhood. She later made full recovery. FBG Cash was part of the Flyboy gang. The 31-year-old rapper was a close associate of FBG Duck, in which they belonged to the same set, the Gangster Disciples. There are rumors that claim Cash was shot due to him taking a picture next to Vaughn's mural. FBG Duck's affiliate and fellow rapper CBE-KG had tragically passed away 2 years after the former's death. CBE-KG reportedly met his demise in a similar manner to FBG Duck. CBE-KG, who is known as FBG Duck's little brother, was shot and killed in Chicago on Sunday night, September 4th, 2022. A picture included in the tweet, which is now deleted, sees emergency medical personnel on the scene with a stretcher. Rumors circulated online that he was dating the younger sister of FBG Duck and that he was part of the Gangster Disciples. THFTP, born Terrence Pearson, was a Chicago drill rapper affiliated with the THF, Trigger Happy Family collective, particularly known for representing the 46 set. He gained recognition in the early 2010s, contributing to the drill scene with tracks like Bus Stop, which became notable for its provocative lyrics and association with street rivalries. Tragically, on February 7th, 2024, THFTP was fatally shot in a targeted attack on Chicago's West Side. The brutal attack happened about 6:40 p.m., right after THFTP, his girlfriend, his daughter, and another young relative left the TNT rooftop restaurant, 5405 West Madison Avenue. A white Nissan pulled up alongside them, and gunmen jumped out and fired at THFTP at least 25 times. The assailants got back into the Nissan, made a U-turn, and sped off down Madison, leaving THFTP lying on the sidewalk, his daughter's pink poster and art supplies tangled among bullet fragments, blood spatter, and TP's wallet and key fob. THFTP died about an hour later at Loyola University Medical Center in Maywood. An autopsy determined TP died of multiple gunshot wounds, and his death was ruled a homicide. No one else was injured. THFTP was visiting the restaurant because his daughter was interviewing its owner for a school project on Black-owned businesses. In 2024, rapper Bloodhound Lil Jeff from Drill City became a new face of Chicago drill, along with other rappers like Bloodhound Q50. This was after Lil Jeff became known for allegedly having 10 kills, including the January 26, 2024 double murder of 2 high school students Monterey, Monty Williams and Robert Lil Raw Boston. Lil Jeff was known for his raw lyrical style and affiliation with the Chicago drill scene. He gained notoriety for referencing violent acts in his music, which contributed to his rise in the underground rap community. Tragically, Lil Jeff's life was cut short when he was fatally shot on June 8, 2024 in Chicago. Reports indicate that he was struck in the chest by gunfire on the 6600 block of South Rhodes Avenue and was pronounced dead at the hospital. Despite his untimely death, Lil Jeff's music continues to resonate with fans. His posthumous releases, including the album Bloody Bruddas in 2025, showcase collaborations with artists like Rel Vert and Bloodhound Q50. Lil Jeff's legacy is marked by his influence on the drill music genre and the stark portrayal of street life in his lyrics. His story serves as a reflection of the challenges faced by many young artists navigating environments fraught with violence and adversity. OTF Ken Ken, also known as TT Ken Ken, was a Chicago-based drill rapper affiliated with Lil Durk's Only the Family, OTF collective in the Taytown neighborhood. He was recognized for his contributions to the drill music scene, collaborating with artists like TT Breezy and TT Chopsticks on tracks such as Dumb She and Pardon My Back. These songs, characterized by their gritty lyrics and energetic beats, are available on platforms like YouTube. Tragically, Ken Ken was shot and killed in Chicago on 115th and State Street, June 10, 2024. He was 26 years old at the time of his death. His passing was mourned by fans and the local music community, with tributes highlighting the ongoing issue of gun violence in the city. Ken Ken's death occurred prior to a federal indictment involving several OTF members, including Lil Durk, related to a 2022 murder-for-hire plot. Speculation has arisen regarding Ken Ken's potential involvement in these legal matters, with some suggesting he may have been a co-conspirator. However, these claims remain unconfirmed. Chicago's drill music scene has birthed some of the most influential and controversial voices in hip-hop. Among the newer names rising through the ranks was TJ 800, also known simply as 800 TJ, a young artist affiliated with the 800 block of Chicago, a set known for its presence in the city's ongoing street conflicts. But like too many artists from Chicago's drill culture, TJ's story ended far too soon. TJ 800 came up as part of the underground drill movement, known for his aggressive flow, gritty delivery, and unfiltered depictions of street life. His music wasn't polished for the mainstream. It was raw, honest, and meant for the streets that shaped him. On July 11, 2024, he died during a shooting on the Dan Ryan, the major expressway in Chicago. TJ 800 was killed in a confrontation that reportedly involved a weapon being stolen. Unfortunately, 800 TJ was shot and killed in less than 24 hours after he stole the gun. Some say it was an accident. Others claim it was intentional. Regardless, TJ was gone, another young life taken far too early. Footage from the aftermath circulated briefly online before being removed, and fans immediately began flooding platforms like Reddit's, Curicology, and Twitter X with reactions, tributes, and speculation. Lil Scum 89, born as Syrian Hogan, was an 18-year-old rapper from Chicago who was tragically shot and killed on the night of July 7, 2024. The incident occurred at the intersection of East 89th Street and Langley Avenue in the Chatham neighborhood on the city's south side. According to reports, Lil Scum and his 16-year-old friend were involved in a verbal altercation with another individual, which quickly escalated into gunfire. Lil Scum sustained 2 gunshot wounds to the chest and was transported to the University of Chicago Medical Center, where he was pronounced dead. His friend, known as Lil Will, was also shot and later found inside an Uber with gunshot wounds to both thighs. He was taken to the same hospital in which he was able to recover. Lil Scum was an emerging artist in the drill music scene and had recently released his project Welcome to Buttonland via Signal Columbia Records. His label, Signal Records, paid tribute to him. In the wake of his death, Lil Scum's mother shared on social media that her son had called her shortly before the incident, expressing unease and stating that, acting weird, she emphasized the importance of being cautious, noting, "Everyone not your friend, everybody not happy for you." The loss of Lil Scum has sent shockwaves through the Chicago music community and beyond, highlighting the ongoing issues of gun violence affecting young artists in the city. Lil Josh, born Joshua Sharp, was a Chicago-based drill rapper affiliated with the 071 set. He gained recognition in the city's underground rap scene for tracks like 3 a.m. in the Rack and Still Remember, which showcased his lyrical prowess and reflected the raw and gritty nature of drill music. His music often delved into themes prevalent in Chicago's drill scene, characterized by its unfiltered portrayal of street life and gang dynamics. Tragically, on July 17, 2024, Lil Josh was shot and killed in Chicago's South Shore neighborhood. He was 26 years old at the time of his death. Reports indicate that he was found with multiple gunshot wounds, and the incident was believed to be a targeted attack. The circumstances surrounding his death remain under investigation, and no arrests have been reported as of now. Lil Josh's untimely passing underscores the ongoing challenges of gun violence in Chicago, particularly within the drill music community. His contributions to the genre and his authentic storytelling resonated with many, and his loss is felt deeply among fans and fellow artists alike. Munna Duke, born Rashone Vance, was a Chicago-based drill rapper and a prominent figure in the O-Block community, a faction of the Black Disciples gang in the city's South Side. Known for his close associations with fellow rappers King Von and Lil Durk, Munna Duke was recognized both for his music and his influence within the local rap scene. Munna Duke emerged as a notable voice in Chicago's drill music scene. His music resonated with many for its authenticity and unfiltered portrayal of his experiences. He maintained an active presence on social media platforms, including Instagram and YouTube, where he shared his music and connected with fans. On May 10, 2025, Munna Duke, age 31, was tragically shot and killed in Chicago's Edgewater neighborhood. The incident occurred around 1:20 a.m. when gunmen opened fire outside the Pork Chop restaurant on North Broadway, resulting in the deaths of Munna Duke and fellow rapper Daryl Young Jin Givens, age 28. A third individual was injured in the shooting. The circumstances surrounding the attack remain under investigation, with no arrests reported at this time. Munna Duke's untimely death sent shockwaves through the Chicago rap community. Artists such as Asian Doll publicly mourned his passing, highlighting the profound impact he had on those around him. His partner, Fat Banks, who shares a child with him, expressed her grief on social media, emphasizing the personal loss felt by his family and close associates. Munna Duke's contributions to the drill music genre and his role within the O-Block community have left an indelible mark on Chicago's cultural landscape. His music continues to resonate with fans, serving as a testament to his talent and the stories he sought to tell. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe for more content. If you have missed other episodes, you can search them on this channel. Peace.